Beloved hearts of love's eternal presence, I, Mother Mary, am eternally grateful to greet you through this messenger USA today. And as your attention is placed upon my presence as you listen to this recording, please know and accept it is through your attention that I am able to pour my ascended heart's love to each of you. As many of you continue to awaken to your divine nature, and it is critically important that more and more numbers of humanity do awaken and provide themselves the protection, the health, and the defense regarding all that is acting in your world today. And so I urge each of you to do all that you can now to acknowledge your divine natures daily, and know that whether we are unascended and yet living in the earth realm, or if we are ascended and living in the fifth dimension or greater dimensions, we are all individualizations of higher source, universal source, of the very principles of Mother-Father life consciousness. Each of us a glorious individualization. And therefore, all of us, all of you, to continue to offer your love, your praise, and your gratitude to your own inner God self each day, and know that you have come here on earth to express your beloved God divinity. Precious hearts, we are known by some as the first family, since our presence upon your earth some 2,000 years ago. And that, of course, includes my son, Jesus Christ, my mother, Grandmother Anna, and beloved Princess Mary Magdalene, the twin flame to Jesus Christ, and to Joseph, who has come to your world more recently as the mighty Saint Germain, and others of those disciples who have gained their freedom in the Ascension. And as the first family ascended and free, we all stand ready to love you, to pour our love to you. Being ascended beings, we are very aware of all the universal principles and all the divine laws that maintain our beloved universe and trillions of individualizations in as much perfection as is possible. And in coming to you today and bringing your attention to the great universal principles of divine rhythm is the natural outpouring and receiving activity, simply referred to as giving and receiving. This universal principle is as natural as breathing. Giving is natural, and the great universal law is such that as one gives, one naturally receives. Yet we must all have faith. You must have faith that even though we live in different dimensions, we who are turning our attention to assist the greater numbers of humanity to awaken, as you recognize us, accept us, as you pour your love to us, we will always, always, always respond to you. I, Mother Mary, I am aware that many of you feel very alone at this time. And I urge you to know in your heart that you are not alone. We never judge anything that takes place in one's life. We only wait for that sacred moment when one begins to awaken, recognize their own divinity, reach in, reach up. And to those of us who have graduated the earth realm in what is known as the Ascension, and know that each of us, we all stand ready to receive the children of earth and to pour our love and the freedom that we have attained to each of you. So this day and any day that you are willing to acknowledge the ascended presence of Mother Mary or Mother Akasha or Mother Metta from India or Mother Vesta of your physical son or my ascended mother, Grandmother Anna, as you acknowledge us and you pour your love to us, please know the cosmic law is exact, and the cosmic law is such that when we receive your love, then we pour our ascended heart's love back to each of you, which is much greater than any amount of love that any human being can generate. From out of the God flame in my heart, I, Mother Mary, send each of you rays of divine love, Christ love. This is a higher love. And as those rays reach each of you very quickly, those rays of higher love then become an enfolding presence of divine love. Love that just loves to build and build within and around your minds, your feelings, your physical hearts, and your physical garments, your bodies. Acknowledge, precious hearts, you are receiving my love and the love of other Ascended Mothers' presence. And if you will do this for just a few minutes each day, and from out of the flame of love that abides in each of your hearts, if you will command your own love flame to expand and to release and pour its rays of love to myself, Mary, and the other Ascended Mothers, and to my son Jesus as well. In this way, together, we can create a lovely, individual relationship with each of you. Us pouring our love to you. You receiving our love. You're pouring your love to us, and us receiving your love. To establish this rhythm becomes a critical part of your relationship with those of us in the ascended realms. If you do this for a couple of minutes once a day, together, let's establish a momentum, a divine relationship of divine rhythm, giving and receiving, which is the most natural law of the universe. I love you, precious hearts. And with the viral storm that is presently in your world, and with all its limitations and dangers that are affecting the health of many of the people, we desire to help you, to offer you greater protection at this time. And from our assessment, what you all require in your world is a greater love, an intelligent love that does not register or accept the lower vibrations of limitations, viruses, and disease. A higher love that has a frequency of mighty, strong, eternal energies that can build up within you and, importantly, around each of you, becoming a mighty wall of love, a force field of divine love that can extend out from you 3 feet, a field of divine energies, a magic circle, if you will. And that force field, that magic circle around you, would eventually become one of such high vibrations of divine light and divine love frequencies. And if you do this every day, it builds and builds and becomes your defense, a vibration of such high and divine frequencies that the lower energy frequencies of the world, of viruses and other dangers, just cannot touch your life any longer. And so I am here, Mother Mary, to tell you that myself and other ascended mothers, we are here, as well as my Son, the Christ. And as we receive a few minutes, just a few minutes of your attention each day, yet it must be every day, so that we create a momentum of working together. And as you use your voice, beloved hearts, and perhaps say something like this: as I turn my attention to Mother Mary and other ascended mothers, and to Jesus Christ, from out of my own heart, divine flame, I send forth my heart's flames, mighty rays of love, to each of the ascended divine mothers, and to mighty Jesus Christ. I send my love and gratitude to each of them, And I am so grateful that they offer their ascended mother's love, their ascended master's love, their divine love, their Christ love to me. Beloved ascended mothers, Jesus Christ, fill me, flood me, enfold me with your mighty rays of divine love. Build a mighty force field, a magic circle all around me with an ascended master momentum of your intelligent divine love, that nothing of a discordant nature or lower vibrational energy can any longer enter my mind, my body, my feeling side of life. I will turn to you, divine ascended mothers, Mother Mary, Jesus Christ. I will turn to you every day. I will pour my love to you, and I request a sustained and ever-growing momentum of your divine love pouring in and around me each day. I am so grateful to receive this greater intervention of higher love from the ascended mothers and Jesus Christ, and I just love them. You see, precious hearts, when you do this for a few minutes every day, and as you send your love and open to receive our love, just allow yourself to be still, open, and receptive for a minute or two. Then go on about your day. It is here that as we do this for a few minutes every day, you are establishing a stronger relationship with us. You are working with us in establishing a rhythm of divine love, pouring and receiving in alignment with the natural universal laws of giving and receiving. However, precious hearts, for this to work, together we must build a momentum here. It will only take a few minutes each day. However, it's when we do this together every day that we are able to provide you with the greater assistance and greater protection. And please realize, precious hearts, from us ascended masters, from us ascended mothers, our love is a loving divine intelligence too. And as you build up receiving more and more of our higher love, so too you receive a greater intelligence within that love, an intelligence that will guide you in all your thinking, all your planning, and all your decision making. Now, precious hearts, because of the way human nature has evolved, there is a long-standing belief in human consciousness and in humans' subconscious that your good, your supply, is dependent upon activities in your world. A long-standing belief that your supply, what you receive, is dependent upon your work, your pensions, your bank accounts, your investments, just as an example. Now, as simply as I can address this, the plain truth, precious hearts, is that you will all experience what you believe. This is such an important recognition, especially for all of you who are awakening. It's so important that I would recommend that you say to yourself a few times every day that the plain truth is that I will experience what I believe. Certainly, there must be an awareness within you that as you awaken, you become aware that you may be holding embedded beliefs within your consciousness that are actually limiting your experience. So there must be some room here. There must be some willingness on your part to change some of your beliefs so that they stop acting in your experience side of life. And in this regard, I then urge you to tell yourself daily, because this belief is so long-standing, to tell yourself daily that you have changed your mind, that you are awakened now, that your realizations are much greater than before. To tell yourself that your good, your supply, is not just dependent upon your work, your pensions, your bank accounts. Tell yourself that these outer activities are simply one channel of your supply, with the realization that as you awaken to your own God divinity, as you awaken to the realization of the ascended and angelic host, that your own God divinity and all of us, we all can be added channels, added source of your own good and supply. Yet realize, precious hearts, the belief that your supply is dependent upon what you do in the world, that your supply, your money, your good is dependent upon your work, your pensions, this and that. Realize this belief is centuries old and is embedded so deep. It is not only within your consciousness, it is within your subconscious. And it is for this reason, for you to remove that belief that is limiting your good and supply, you must tell yourself every single day that now you are awake. Now you realize that there can be many, many channels of your good and your supply. Work, paychecks, pensions, investments. Tell yourself that they are but one channel of supply, that you have many other channels of supply, and perhaps channels that you are not even aware of. and turn to your own God divinity. Turn to us and call upon us to provide a presence in your life, a loving intelligence that can go before you and find and attract wonderful channels of good and supply. You realize not the natural activity of giving and receiving is actually a law of divine rhythm, giving and receiving. And your beloved Mother Akasha addressed this recently in one of her Tree of Life classes. And that because of this long-standing belief of where you think your good and supply can come from to you, you yourselves on earth, you have cut yourself off from the universal supply house of all that you could ever desire or require in your lives. And so, beloved hearts, you're going to have to root this belief out of you by telling yourselves daily that this long-standing belief of where your good and where your supply comes from has not been true. That yes, your paychecks and pensions and whatever else, acknowledge that they are one channel of supply. And now that you are awake, you are aware that there are many channels of good and supply. And say to your God divinity and reach up to us and welcome all of those channels of good God supply of whatever you require, that they now open for you. Please appreciate that my son Jesus and all the Ascended Mothers, if you will give some of us your love and attention every day, this allows us to work with the universal law of giving and receiving with each of you. Realize that our higher love has wisdom. I'd like to remind you again that the natural activity of giving and receiving is a natural law of divine rhythm. And it is important to realize that because of human beings' beliefs, that natural divine rhythm has not been acting in their lives. Let us, the Ascended Mothers and Jesus, let us help you to restore this divine rhythm, this universal law of giving and receiving with each of you. Realize that our higher love has wisdom, guidance, and direction within it. Our love can translate into new opportunities, new contacts, new channels of good and supply in your life. As I stated already, for this to unfold, you will have to engage us in the manner that I have described, as well as advise yourselves that your good and supply can come to you in many channels, even those you are not yet aware of, channels that you have not even dreamed of. Equally precious heart, and this is important, equally announce to yourself that you are now opting back into the natural and universal law of giving and receiving. Give because it is a natural activity of life, as natural as breathing. Give because it is love in action. And just know you are participating in the natural law of giving and receiving once again. And just know the truth that as you give, so too life will find ways for you to receive. Now, if at the present moment, if you do not have any money to give, find other ways to give. Give of your time. Do some volunteering. Talk to a lonely person on a park bench. There are many ways of giving. And finally, keep building a stronger momentum with the Mother-Father life consciousness that is part of your consciousness. Ask your God self for guidance, illumination, and with all the seeming dangers in the outer world, ask your God nature and all of us to strengthen you, to take out of you any fear. Welcome angels and ascended masters to overlight you, to keep you safe, and to guide you every day. Declare that the higher love of your own God self within, the higher love of great masters of light, this higher love, as it increases in your life, becomes a loving intelligence that will attract to you all the good, supply, and protection that you require in your lives. Let not yourselves be subjected to all the limitations of the outer world. We come to offer you our intelligent love. Breathe it in, welcome it in, and invite your own greater God life and our God life to heal you, to protect you, defend you, and supply you with all your life requires. Invite your life to be held in the arms of the loving Ascended Mother's presence, for we all love you. I am Mother Mary. Adonai, Adonai, Adonai.